What a battle. I mean, the series was seemingly tied all weekend. What's just kind of your prevailing thoughts coming out of another shootout decision such as that?
Yeah, Willie put it well in the room after. That was probably like a playoff atmosphere, 2 games. Tight checking. I mean, I don't know if we gave up a 5-on-5 goal on the weekend, and right, we only got one ourselves. So that's probably a good learning curve for us, right? Those are good games to play now, and that we should be prepared down the stretch to play tight checking games like that.
Did you feel like you carried the play for a lot of time in the game? I know in the second period you had some nice moments where it seemed like you had the ice tilted in your favor, and in the third period as well, the power play chances and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, I think we ended up out shooting them by quite a bit. For sure, when we were out there, we were rolling 5-on-5. Obviously, right, production has to follow that, and it stayed tight. And I mean, as the game goes on, anytime it's a 1-1 game, you don't feel like anyone's dominating because it's just so tight checking. But you know, when you looked up at the shots, it looked like we might have, when we go over it Monday, that we might have had a better analytic side than we might have anticipated during the game.
You guys get the goal late in the first period. Seth tips one in. How'd you kind of see that play unfold? Looked like a great forecheck led to that goal.
Yeah, that line played really well. If I remember right, it was Vil to Needs the side of the net, and Needs finds players really well, and he found fights buries those. He did that last year, and it was good to see him get his first goal this year.
Do you have a chance to say anything to Stover? I mean, he played so well, and the only one he gave up, he obviously was a shorty. So what do you say to him when he's playing like that and you're into a 1-to-1 battle?
I don't think you say much to him. I think you just let him roll. I mean, he's been unbelievable, right? I'd say he's playing as some of the best college hockey goalies. He's got to be one of the best ones. Like, we can't ask any more of him. He's been spectacular.
Other than the ice Kotai, I mean, he was standing on his head. You guys had 43 shots on goal, only be able to get one of them by him. What can you do, or what does the team do when they're up against somebody that's playing that well?
Yeah, I mean, you just got to keep shooting and get traffic, right? That's the best way to beat a hot goalie is to get a lot of bodies in front of him, and clearly we didn't do enough of that this weekend. But we were peppering them with shots.
Game too. You mentioned kind of playoff atmosphere over there. Emotions were high. Crowd was really into it as well, but not a lot of penalty minutes, not a lot of time in the box.
No, it was a back and forth game. I think both teams were playing pretty clean. I mean, here or there was a few penalties, but overall it was a really solid weekend for both teams.
Despite the results of the past 2 games, it seems like the team is kind of finally like really clicking at the most they had this season. What has changed, throughout the year to kind of get you guys so close and, playing so tough?
Yeah, I think we're just growing. I mean, obviously Stove's playing really well in net, right? You can't forget about that. Like, he's been great since the break, since he's been back. So that helps. And then we're just starting to grow as a team, and that's kind of the natural progression of the year. It's starting to come together a little bit now.
Willie talked yesterday in the press conference about in the importance of playing the blue paint. How well do you feel your team did today during that?
Yeah, I thought we were there. I mean, a goalie made a couple nice saves on right around the net. I know Glennie had a chance in tight, and Broads was all over there. We were all over there. So, I mean, if you keep going there, I think the production will follow. Obviously, it wasn't there this weekend, but you can't do anything but trust the process in these situations.
How much confidence is this kind of a series where you played really good for both games? How much confidence does this bring for your team, both for the rest of the regular season and into the playoffs?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe confidence is the right word, but it's just a good building block. I mean, these are good games to play in. And we've been on a little slide the last 3 games, but like we talked about when we went on the 6-game winning streak, it's all about staying even keeled and just continuing to build on the process.
We were laughing about the schedule this year, and coaches talked about it on the show as well. It's half the season. It seems like kids haven't been here. Talk about the atmosphere tonight and the kids' support. I'm sure you guys felt that in the arena tonight.
Yeah, Coach, obviously 41 shots in net, and you play a hot goalie. What do you tell your team to keep that confidence? Obviously, you had both 2 big games, didn't really fall your way.
Yeah, it's a tough one for our guys. I thought we played good. I thought we played a good game tonight. That's how it goes. I thought there were 2, good playoff type games, good battles. If you think about the weekend, Yesterday they scored a 3-on-3 goal to win. Tonight they scored a shorthanded goal in a shootout. So, we didn't give up any 5-on-5. Thankfully in playoffs, at least I got to understand the rules. There's no 3-on-3 in overtime in playoffs. Yeah, there's no shootout. Okay, so that might bode okay then, especially with the 5-on-5 right now. But both teams played hard defense. Both goalies were good. I thought we were physical. I thought we skated well. I thought we held control at times, and just unfortunately we have nothing to show for it. But our group's done a really nice job. We were just talking since our last game in Mankato. It's important to get points every game if you can, or in the weekend. Like, obviously you want to get wins, but our group has done a nice job. Outside of that one game in Ferris of always getting points. You can't get swept. Everyone, it seems like in this league, just everyone splits. It seems like it's so tight, right? But we'll definitely be better for it, and the effort was there. And so that's the way it goes.
It seems like too, you've harped on making sure getting pucks deep. It seemed like, along with controlling the puck and the play at times, they were doing a great job of getting those pucks deep.
Yeah, first period, a couple, their opportunities came off of our poor puck management, and we talked about it after the first. And our philosophy, kind of what I've learned over the years is, winning hockey is sometimes boring hockey. It's playing consistent, doing the right things all the time, and sometimes the right things are just wearing your opponent down, and it might not happen in the first, it might not be in the second, but at some point you're going to catch them tired, and I thought the more we made that team come 200 feet, the better opportunity we'd have to A, play in their zone, and B, wear them down. So, like I said, I'm far from upset about the weekend or the game. Like, again, we're a team. We talk about that. This will pay dividends moving forward, and we're going to keep learning from it. And they're going to get up tomorrow. They're going to enjoy their day off. We're going to come Monday. We're going to get right back to work and get refocused for another tough road trip on Friday.
And these guys really gave you a chance as well at the end. When you see the 4-on-3, they had the power play. Stover again continues to stand on his head. How big of a boost was that going into that shootout?
He was great. I actually thought he had the third save there too. It just kind of squeaked through him, but he's been really dialed in, and it's great to see. And as I said last night, when he's playing that way, we play with a lot more confidence and a little bit more free will, knowing that you have a goalie playing the way he is back there.
Yeah, Ryan O'Hara previously just talked about how that was a playoff atmosphere, the crowd, the feel of the game, and how the game went out. How big is that for your team to just get that experience of a playoff atmosphere-esque game?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's great. The crowd was great. The band was great. I might have got off the ice. I hope they weren't booing us. I wasn't sure there. But it's, it was awesome, and you know what's really neat? When you rewatch the game, I'm just watching it there quick, is you see how involved the fans are, and we're on the 4-on-3, and Nori gets tripped there, down by the goal line, and everybody's got their arms up, right? Like, including us as coaches, trying to get the even call. But it just, when I sit back and watch games and see, how great of fans we have, how passionate fans we have, it definitely gives our guys a boost. And, we absolutely love playing here in Slater Ice Arena. I think it's a tough venue to play in, and especially when you get our crowd in there and the band and the noise. And sometimes when I'm trying to talk, I like to quiet everybody down. I don't have a loud voice that travels very far, but it's been fun. And, obviously we're really appreciative of the crowd this weekend and them coming out to support our group.
Coach, yesterday you said how in order to play well against the Sabre team, you need to play in the blue paint. Do you feel like your team did a good job today at playing in the blue paint?
Yeah, I thought we had some really nice plays driving the net there, especially in the second, funneling some pucks there off of line rushes on us. And again, I have nothing to critique in regards to how we played in front of Christian. Obviously any breakdowns we had, Christian was great net, but our D did a really good job in her sentiment of taking away second and third opportunities, tying up sticks and bodies, and just playing a really tough, relentless way. And again, I thought we did a good job offensively. We made a few changes, offensively, to try to spread them out a little bit. That we saw some looks on that was really good. And like I said, we had some good looks on our power play again. And that's the way it goes. But you know, the one thing is that's a group that's a group in there that you can definitely see, you know, the light switched on them, you know, and especially the last month or so, they're determined, they're poised, they stick together. We have great leadership, and you know, like I said, I look forward to getting back on the ice with them on Monday and getting some skill sets in, you know, and yeah, like I said, our it's still a long season, you know, for us, and like I said, we'll definitely learn from it.
Ryan talked about how this felt like a playoff atmosphere. We have 5 weekends before the playoffs. What lessons can you take from this series and to explain to the team about getting ready for playoffs in a couple of weeks?
Well, you know, it's a whole different game. You know, when you get to playoffs, to me, it's always, you don't look at the full game. I like to break it always down. You know, you got periods, you got 10-minute segments, you got 5-minute segments of hockey. Like, you know, if you get into a third period and you're down 2 goals, you don't get to score 2 in the first 5 minutes. You know, win the first 10 minutes, win the second 10-minute game. You know, so for us, you know, we were looking at this game here. I thought, you know, for the third period, when it's a tie game like that, every turnover, mismatch on the puck gets magnified. So for us to play in that type of event and learn from it, and we did turn the puck over, and they came down and had a flurry, you know, but again, those are areas that we can fall back on and relate to, you know, as we continue to grow as a team and we make our way to, you know, throughout the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Hard-fought game, but clean game, though, Coach. Penalty kills. It was a pretty clean game, too, though,
Yeah.
wasn't? Not a lot of
Nothing.
emotion.
Hey, I like it.
Yeah.
We should have those guys back, eh? I like no penalties out there. And I thought we played pretty heavy. Like, and the call that, you know, Fights got, he got his gloves up there. You know, I couldn't tell when that happened, but, you know, it's tough not to get called penalties for as hard and physical I want our guys to play. Like, I think we threw around the weight more than probably they did. I thought we were physical, and we're built that way. And unfortunately, you know, like anything, it's in any sport, depending on the officiating you get. You know, sometimes you get a game like that. But like, I thought all the hits were clean, you know, and both teams. It was a pretty, you know, hard fought game, and even yesterday. But you know, when we want our guys to play on their toes and fail forward, don't play on your heels, don't play passive. We want to set the tone physically. We want to be punishing defensemen out there. We want to play tough in the blue paint, and with that, sometimes guys fall and you get called on it. But, you know, at the end of the day, we're not going to pull back from playing aggressive. You know, that's not my mindset. That's not how I coach, and that's not how our team's going to play.
Is this kind of the future? Get philosophical for a second. We talked about it on the show. Is this future of Division I hockey? They had 12 new players on their team. A lot of juniors, you know, that are here this year, and they're doing so well in the CCHA right now. Is this what it's going to be moving forward? We got a lot of guys been here for 4 or 5 years on hockey.
Yeah, the landscape's definitely different right off it, and you know, what you're finding is with this new transfer, you know, with the portal and players, you know, just being freely able to move, you know, at their convenience off it. And like I said, I'm not a fan of it personally. Like, I'm not like you know, but at the same time, it's really opened itself up into a whole different kind of can of worms that I don't know if everyone thought that's how it was going to play out, you know. And it's like I always said, when I committed here back in '95, maybe it was, with Buddy and Wayne and Brian Hills, it was a handshake, you know, and that was it, and your word, you know. And I don't even know if I signed every year. I don't even know how that worked, you know. And as I always said back then, I was based off a point performance on my value of my scholarship. I was paid quite heavily for my point total, okay? So, but I never once thought anything different of transferring or thinking something else was going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, it was just, you know, I came every day, I worked, you know, you're loyal to that coach, and you know, and nowadays you see guys some 2-3 times transferred, you know, out of it. And I have a hard time with that when you're trying to find, you know, good character people, right? Like, you got to go through adversity, you know, and but yeah, unfortunately, that is the way it is now, and we got to adapt to it as coaching and recruiting, and you know, that's the way we got to go as well, and try to build our team. But the one thing with our team, I won't, as we build it, I will not jeopardize character and culture. You know, I'd rather lose games with the right guys than win with guys that aren't bought into playing the right way.
One more question here for Coach.
You're talking about a big culture piece. Seth Fighton gets his first goal of the season.
Mhm.
Obviously, he's always in the lineup, just grinding. How big is that to see, him put one in the net and be the only goal this weekend?
That's about as nice as his handlebar mustache he's growing right now in curling. What a great guy. Awesome teammate. Really happy for him. He's the type of player that I wish I could have coached longer, like in his career, because he just gives it all for BG hockey. And, he's been healthy scratch at times this year, which isn't easy, being a senior and so forth. But you would never know that. Like, he is, to me, what BG hockey represents. And to see him score that goal, nice little play by Ville over to Jackson, and there he is right in the blue paint, coming across and getting that tip in with a minute and a half left in the first. Like, that was big for our group, considering we've gone we went 3 periods in overtime yesterday and almost a whole nother period. So that really gave us a jump, as we started the second. So I'm really happy for him.